What is echolalia? Well, in this video today, that is what we're going to be discussing. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell for regular videos from me about autism, talking about the autistic experience. But also, if you want to help support this YouTube channel, make sure you check out the join button down below. But let's get straight into it. Well, hello people, hope you're doing well. Now, echolalia is something I've wanted to discuss on the channel for quite a while because it is very much misunderstood, especially among parents and things, when kids start to, repeat other people's words or the end of sentences and things like that. But there's more to echolalia than just repeating someone else's words as soon as they are spoken. But this is something that we're going to get into, talk about exactly what echolalia is and why some of us autistic folk, adults, kids, all of that stuff actually use echolalia. Like, what is the actual purpose of echolalia? So, what exactly is echolalia? Well, if we take the Greek definition, because literally the Greeks are pretty much bossing it, pretty much laying out the entire foundation of society, pretty much. Shout out if you're from Greece, I don't know, just, interaction and all that. But echolalia does come from the Greek meaning echo, or to repeat. And basically this means a person repeating a phrase that they have just heard, or potentially a phrase or something like that that they have heard in the past. So as a couple of examples of echolalia, just as a general example, just to get your heads around what echolalia is and how it's implemented, you could have a question like, Sam, why are you late? And for someone who uses echolalia in the present, they could hear the last word of that sentence and go late, late, late. But the other example of this is when you have a phrase or, a quote from a movie, TV, songs, that sort of thing, and you remember it and you think it fits that context, or the autistic person thinks that fits the context of the question. So for this example, Sam, why are you late? A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Or something along those lines. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Lord of the Rings quote, but Lord of the Rings is cool. Do you agree? Let us know. But one of the reasons someone may use echolalia or, repeat a phrase is because they don't have the language skills themselves to be able to formulate their own answers. So they tend to echo what someone says, or they remember a phrase which they think is the right response to a question or a statement that someone has said. With echolalia, while it's highly associated with autism and autistic people, it's a common trait most of the time, especially in younger people. It's not solely linked to autism. It can be a byproduct of dementia, brain injury, and just other conditions like language disorders and things. But actually, did you know that there are actually two different types of echolalia? One being immediate echolalia and the other being delayed echolalia. Now, if you think back to that question that I gave to you before, Sam, why are you late? And I gave two separate answers. So the late, late, late answer that I gave before is an example of immediate echolalia. So it's providing an immediate response to the person, or an immediate echo or repeat. And then the second example was, well, the classic Ian McKellen quote, wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. That is an example of delayed echolalia. So I guess now, in order for you to embrace autism and autistic people, by understanding echolalia, it's about understanding the purpose. So when it comes to immediate and delayed echolalia, it is ultimately a form of communication. I think it's obviously just about the context and, whether the person on the other end, understands it. So, for example, it could be delayed echolalia that we're talking about. Miss Smith talks to little tiny Tim, like Timothy Tim. Miss Smith could ask the question, Timmy, what did you do at the weekend? And then little Timmy could go, ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. So you would assume that little Timmy Tim went to McDonald's. Miss Smith could go, what else did you do? And little Timmy Tim could go, swimming was great, wasn't it, Timmy? Which is not obviously what Timmy said, but it could have been something that he picked up, from someone asking him that same question during the course of the weekend. So you would insinuate that Timmy went to McDonald's and went swimming, which, to be honest, is not a bad day out, I must say. So while that example may seem far-fetched, it is something that people use in real life, and that is how some people communicate. And with immediate echolalia, it's a form of communication, or rather trying to process what is being said. So someone, I don't know, like Miss Smith over there, asks the question, Timmy, how did you do at the weekend, or what did you do at the weekend rather? And Timmy could go weekend to process what Miss Smith has said, because for autistic people, you know, it takes some of us a little bit longer to process what is actually being asked of us or said to us. I mean, for me, someone will ask me a question, I go, and then go into it. But I guess as well, the other purpose behind it is a sense of routine. And I think this is very much true of delayed echolalia, especially with me. For example, with these YouTube videos, I ultimately can't start these videos without going, well, hello into people, hope you're doing well, hope you're doing okay. It seems like it's just, you know, just nothing, but to me it is kind of like a thing that I need to do, you know. And you know, I don't know what it is. If I start a video any other way, it just doesn't feel right. I just can't get into making these videos and staring at a viewfinder for X amount of time. I just can't do it. And for me, I find comfort in repeating that phrase, you know, because it allows me to get into the zone of what I'm doing. So I'm able to actually, you know, deliver information to you right now, you think? And while this purpose of routine and using echolalia as part of a routine, I think, I don't know, is something that's quite important. I think the other purpose of echolalia, and I think this is one of the, I guess it's one of the unique sides of being autistic, especially if you talk to autistic people like myself, it is a way of self-soothing, relaxing, and, you know, just generally stemming on words, you know, by saying a certain word, a certain phrase, or, you know, saying a list of words. It ultimately depends on the context. So, you know, someone could use echolalia as a way to calm down. I know some people, they will repeat the states of America. That is something that someone has done. But all in all though, there are many purposes to echolalia, and, you know, many reasons why autistic people specifically use echolalia. And I guess as well, echolalia is kind of like a verbal stim, I would say. But if you don't know anything about stimming actually, check out that video right there. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button for me. Stay you, stay indie, and I will see you next time. Take care.